At the end of last season, we sold Fragonard's brilliant fantasy portrait of the Duc d'Arcor for £17.1 million. Not only was this a world record for the artist, but for any 18th century French painting. It was also, by some distance, the most expensive Old Master sold last year. This year, on July the 9th, we are delighted to be offering another masterpiece by Fragonard, Sappho inspired by Cupid. Painted around 1780, this oval canvas, with its soft touch and luminous light effects, very much prefigures the great 19th century French Romantic movement.
This striking and dramatic pair of paintings was painted in 1775 for Gabriel Courtois de Pressini, the Archbishop of Saint-Malo, who left France in 1792, returning in 1799 when Napoleon's coup d'etat effectively marked the close of the revolutionary era. He later became ambassador to Rome under Louis XVIII and ended his days as the Archbishop of Besançon. The pictures were ideally suited to appeal to the romantic sensibilities of pre-revolutionary France, juxtaposing the serene and tranquil atmosphere of a Mediterranean harbour sunset alongside this tumultuous and dramatic shipwreck. The pair also suited Vernet's personal artistic temperament. Having undertaken the important commission of painting a series of views of the ports of France, he found himself in trouble for failing to be topographically accurate in the depiction of his views, which he felt would have prevented him from creating what he regarded as a more satisfying work of art. By the time our pictures were painted in 1775, he had abandoned his task of painting the ports of France so that he could devote himself to idealized views that conveyed the sheer majesty of nature. In this he was highly successful. To his Italian and French clients he came to add British collectors, German princes and Russian nobles. From the 1760s to the 1780s, no collection was deemed complete without examples of Vernet's art.
Brighton Beach, after a recent BBC documentary, is making a welcome return to the canon of accepted works by John Constable. Painted in the 1820s when Constable went to Brighton for the health of his son John Charles and his wife Maria, who was a consumptive, he produced a number of beach scenes of dramatic force such as this. Constable didn't much care for the noise and bustle of the tourists in Brighton. He described it as Piccadilly on sea, but he couldn't resist the wind and the surf. There is a mezzotint related to this subject called A Sea Beach, Brighton, Heavy Surf, Windy Noon. Constable describes the subject as the magnitude of a coming wave when viewed beneath the shelter of a groin is most imposing. He went on to say, of all the works of the creation, none is so imposing as the ocean, nor does nature anywhere present a scene that is more exhilarating than a sea beach. What appeals to me most about this very spirited drawing by Jan van Huysen is the fact that he seems to be catching a moment in time before the flowers fade. The technique is very free. He's used broad washes, red chalk and grey chalk, but in a thoroughly spirited fashion. We are much more familiar with his finished works, which have an almost photographic quality, and the final version of this in the Wallace collection is a complete masterpiece and tour de force of technical brilliance. Every petal, every dewdrop there to be relished.